Well, hey everyone, and welcome back to another tutorial series in Unity. Today I'm going to be talking to you about different kinds of math you can use inside of your game to do neat effects. So let's say you are making a game and you want to have item pickups. Well, you want to generate the items in a circle formation. So let's say you have a player who can fly through the sky. And he's flying around, and you see some orbs in the sky that have a circle formation. If you fly between them, the orbs will be collected by the player. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do some different formations. We're going to do a circle formation first, and then we'll get into the other ones later on. So right now, let's go ahead and get the circle one started. So we're going to need a prefab. Go into here. We'll just create we can do a sphere. Okay, so cool. We got a little sphere hanging out in our scene. Let's go ahead and save that. We'll go ahead and create a prefabs folder. This is just for good measure. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. Prefabs, open it up, drag the sphere in there, and done. We're not going to need that in the scene anymore. You can just go and delete it. So now we got a little prefab. So what we're going to need now, since we're going to start generating things, we need a script. Go here, create another folder, call script. Alright, we'll go into the scripts folder, and we're going to create a script called the formation controller. Now this is just what I'm using for the series. Initially, you can do this a different way to where the formations can just be functions or inside of a class that doesn't have mono behavior associated with it. Double click this, open it, reload it. Let it load. Cool. So here we go with our little formation controller class. Okay. So we're not going to need an update function. And we're going to be testing this out in the start function. Essentially what's going to happen is on start, I want it to run a function that's going to take the it's going to create instances of the prefab and then put them in a circle formation. So what we'll do first is we'll come up here and let's just have it like this. Public game object, and we'll call it prefab. Alright, cool. Then we'll come down here. We'll create a private void circle formation. Alright, cool. So, we'll go ahead before we forget. Go ahead in here, and we're going to assign. I'm going to go in here to main camera. We'll just do it on just for now. It's just for testing purposes. And we'll go into the prefab, go into prefabs, take the sphere, drag it there. So we're just going to create a bunch of spheres. That's all we're going to do is instantiate that. So let's go back. So what we're going to do is, first off, we're going to have a vector 3. To store target position. And right now our target position will be vector 3.0. So the target position is basically going to be what we want the spheres to be circled around. Right now we're just going to say we want it circled around an object at vector 3.0, which there's nothing there. It's completely empty in the scene. So right there. And then I can put a cube in the scene later to visualize this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to loop. You do 4 and then tab twice, it populates it for you. So we're going to loop through, let's just say 10 right now. We want to populate 10 spheres on the screen. So that's what we're going to do. Now inside of here, what are we going to do each iteration of this loop? What we're going to do first is we're going to create an instance. We're going to instantiate an instance of our prefab object. Okay, cool. And then now, the way it works with a circle is we need to find an angle. So we'll do float angle. We're going to set to the current index that we're at. And we're going to multiply it 2 times pi, which is 3.14, and just a big old long number. We'll go with this. So 2 times pi is what you're going to use times the current index of where we're at. And we're going to take that number, divide it by 10. So what's happening here is we're trying to find an angle for each and every sphere we're trying to populate. 2 times pi is the circumference of the circle, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, just to verify. Circle circumference. Calculate circumference of a circle. Diameter is pi. If you have radius instead of the diameter, multiply by 2 to get the diameter. Use the circle formula. Circle is pi times the diameter, where c is the circumference, d is the diameter. If you have the radius instead of the diameter, multiply it by 2. Okay, so then that would be 2 times pi. Okay, so 2 times pi, excuse me, and then you're going to divide that by 10, because that's how many spheres we want. And then the index is just what index it is in here. So we have an angle now. Now what we need to do is figure out the x position. So we'll do float x mathf dot cosine of an angle. So we're going to do, what's the cosine of this angle, times 1.5. This 1.5 is to give an offset between each sphere. If I didn't put this here, it would be pretty much the sphere, it would be a very, very tight circle. The 1.5 is actually like the radius from the center point that the spheres are going to be circling around. So from the center of that circle, I want to go in a radius 1.5 away from the center, and then that's where I want this x position to be stored. We're also going to do it for the y position. So float y set to mathf sine. Go in this real quick, and then that'll be the same thing, but it'll be angle. Alright, angle. And then we're going to do an offset again, 1.5. So basically it's like, hey, this is where I want to spawn one of the spheres at these angles with an offset of 1.5 units in the x-axis and in the y-axis. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to take the target destination. Here. And we're going to set it to a new vector 3 of target destination dot x plus the x, target destination dot y plus the y, and then we can just leave the z-axis at 0. And then we'll close it off, come here, that's the target position. Okay, now we want to take the instance, the prefab that we instantiated, get the transform of it, dot position, set it to the target position. Okay, get rid of some of the white space. Alright, save it. Make sure we call our function. So on start, this is going to do come back over here. So what this is going to do is okay, so it's going to generate a circle of spheres. Let it compile. Bam. And there's your circle of spheres. And so if you're inside of a game and your player can fly, or maybe you're inside of a vehicle driving around, well, the cool thing about it is you can go inside the center here, and if you want, you can just collect the orbs here into the player. So this is one of the ways that you can do it. It's really simple for a circle. In the next one, I'm going to show you how to do a square formation. It's not nearly as rough with the math. It's a little bit longer for the way I do it, and you'll see why, but I just wanted to show you this would be a great circle formation for item pickups. If you're making an RTS game, a real-time strategy game, and you want to see your units go, like you click here, and you want your units to walk over here, and when they get there, to make a circle formation around the enemy, that's what you could use this kind of stuff for it. Same thing with the square formation we do next. If you want to right-click somewhere, all the units can move in a square formation to where they need to go. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial so far. In the next one, we'll get on the square formations. But for now, here's the circle formation. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.